What's going on, everyone? It's Mike. It is John back again, and we are sponsored by Flyers Indoor Golf. Get over to the website, make sure you go and check them out. Match day at Bramley Moor for the first game of the season is fast approaching, and I'm more excited about it now, Johnny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm even looking forward to the Leeds game on Monday, going into it with a bit more confidence. And listen, isn't it amazing what one big signing like a Jack Grealish can do for your confidence? You see on social media what it's done for the Everton fan base, and this one signing has given everyone a lift. And listen, I think it's pretty obvious by seeing various reports that this won't be the last one through the door. And we have seen David Moyes wants Premier League experienced players to come in for right back and right wing and stuff. But going on to Jack Grealish, I don't think it just gives Everton fans a lift, mate. I think it gives Everton Football Club a lift. You know, you look at the players, the squad, when they're going to be training with someone who is a born winner, who's won trophies, numerous trophies with Manchester City, knows what it's like to win. When you're training with someone like that, I can imagine it probably gives everyone who's training with him on that training pitch an extra 10% more spring in their step. And, you know, there's players there. And listen, Jack's not old. I think he's 30. Am I right in saying he's 30, 31?
He's 30 in September, I think.
Yeah. So there's players there that can actually probably learn off Jack as well. You know, we've had to use a lot of the youth players in pre-season because the numbers were that threadbare. There's players there, mate, are going to be in awe of a Jack Grealish. And I just think for us as a fan base, for Everton Football Club, and I just think it's massive when you look at some of the players that we've had to put up with over the last couple of years, and you look at the name that's just been announced today by our football club. I just think it's a massive coup to get Everton, you know, for Jack Grealish to come to Everton. And listening to his little snippets of his interview that we've read in his transcript, spoke to the manager, there was only one place he wanted to go. You're going to have players on the outside looking in, and I mentioned this last night, who Everton go after and are linked with, and I think that'll go a long way to making their minds up to come and join our football club.
Yeah. We mentioned it yesterday, didn't we, what he brings? And me and you, we were talking in the car, and I basically just said, look, I want Jack Grealish to come in, playing that 10 role ideally. And in training, I almost want Jack Grealish to tell these players where he needs them to move to. Because, you know, Jack Grealish's qualities are he finds gaps, he makes fouls, he gets fouls, he creates passing moments, and he carries the ball really well. So he's the type of player that the strikers like Beto, like Barry, like Chimiti need to be, you know, they need to be
playing with.
Yeah. And what we also need is we need the strikers to do it quickly, because, you know, the one thing, as we mentioned it last night, Jack Grealish and Dewsbury Hall are fantastic additions, and we know NJI is a good player, and those three there make me comfortable that we're going to be a decent side next season. But you do need your strikers to mould and to be able to play that way, and you need the three of them to be able to do that as well. And I just think it's really critical that the right winger now comes in, and you almost need Jack to stamp his attacking knowledge and his leadership qualities all over that final third. Because Jack Grealish was the captain at Aston Villa. He was a role model at Manchester City. We all know that he's a family man. We know he's passionate about people. We know the support that he gives to people. So we know that he's going to thrive here, and Everton fans are going to take to Jack Grealish. We know all of those things, but the simple fundamentals are this can go really well if we make it work and we work to his strengths. And if we don't play to his strengths, then it probably is a waste of a very expensive loan. But if we utilise Jack Grealish the way that Jack Grealish can be utilised, certainly over the next 12 months, and maybe beyond, depending transfer fees and whatever, then we're in for a really, really decent, exciting time.
See, I can imagine the chat that Jack Grealish had with the manager, David Moyes, was something along the lines, I won't play you like you were playing at City. I'm going to play you like you played at Aston Villa with freedom. And that's what Jack Grealish has needed. And we said it again last night. We sound like we're repeating ourselves, but it's as if he needs to be let off the leash at Everton Football Club now and allow him to play his own game. And see, what you have at Everton Football Club is a lot of our players are only good at one thing. And that's it. You know, when you go through the majority of the squad, they haven't got more than one thing to offer. They just do their own thing. Whereas when you look at Jack Grealish, as you say, he can win fouls, he can pick a pass. I've been watching some of the highlights where he sort of does them passes where he's not even looking, and he sort of, you know, he's capable of doing passes like that. But what I also like about Jack Grealish, Michael, is when he picks the ball up, a lot of the time as well, he just goes past players like they're not there. And yeah, we've got Ndai who can do that to a certain extent, and that's probably more of Ndai's game more than anything else. But what you get with Jack Grealish, as you say, you know, he'll win you a lot of free kicks. And, you know, it's going to be interesting now because we all know, I think a couple of seasons ago, I think Jack Grealish was one of the most foul players in the Premier League. Now, if all of a sudden he comes to Everton Football Club and doesn't win us penalties and stops getting all these fouls and starts getting booked for diving, then that just shows there's a vendetta against our football club. So that's going to be interesting. And I can't wait to see how that shapes up. But Jack Grealish offers you more than just picking a pass out or having a football and brain nous or being a winner. He goes past people, and what you find with Jack Grealish is he will always give 100%. He comes across as that sort of player. It doesn't matter who he's playing for, he will give 100%. And I just think when he went to Manchester City, I don't think Jack Grealish was allowed to be Jack Grealish. And again, I'll say what I said last night. It's not a pop at Pep Guardiola, because who am I to tell Pep Guardiola how to play football? But
you're the man that has 100% win record as a manager, John Maguire. That's what you are.
He needs the shackles letting off, you know, and that's what he wants. And he also, and again, I'm repeating myself again, but for anyone who missed it, and I said this, he's the sort of player now who needs a man manager. He needs a manager to put someone to put their arm around him and just say, you play like you did Aston Villa, we will allow you to. And 50,000 Everton fans at Bramley Moor will love you. And I just think if he's allowed to do that, it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it. You know, Jack Grealish is a player.
As you can tell, I am.
Jack Grealish is a player that, you know, I remember going on my stag do, and it was the Euros, I think it was. And we were playing someone, and Jack Grealish was sitting on the bench. He was at Villa at the time, I think. He might have just moved to City. But I remember sitting there going, we need to get him on the pitch. We need to get him on the pitch. He's the guy that can change the game. He's the guy that can run at the defence. He's the guy that can, you know, make something happen. And he's not the quickest. He's equally not the most skillfulest. But he's just got this born ability to drive at teams. And, you know, we do lack that at times, that directness. You know, we pass too much. We go up the channel, then it goes back and it goes sideways. Whereas Jack Grealish will be direct. He will run into that box. He will try and win a penalty. He will try and win a foul. I'm so excited. So excited.
When you have what you've just mentioned there as a footballer, where, yeah, he mightn't be the most skillful and he's not blessed with pace, but when you've got the football and brain he has to jink one way and go the other, while you've got the ball at your feet, his close ball control is really, really good. I don't think you need to be blessed with pace when you've got the attributes that Jack Grealish has got. You don't need pace. I think, it sounds probably stupid this, but I think if Jack Grealish was blessed with pace, I don't think he'd be as good as at going past people, because people would know what he's going to do and be able to read him easier, because they know he's just going to have a burst of pace against them. When you've got the close ball control he's got and the way he can go past people, I don't actually think you need to be blessed with pace, if you can see what I'm trying to say. But I do. It could go two ways, this. You might get the Jack Grealish who's lost the hunger for football, and it could go tits up. Or you might get the Aston Villa Jack Grealish at the end of this loan deal. I said to you this morning, perfect example, David Moyes took, who did he take to West Ham, who we were talking about? From Man U.
Jesse Lingard.
Yeah. David Moyes took Jesse Lingard to West Ham, and he propelled them up the league, and he single-handedly, pushed them to a European place. You get the Jack Grealish from Aston Villa, and I know I keep saying that because we all know what he was like at Aston Villa. This could be another masterstroke by David Moyes, like he done with a Jesse Lingard, bringing him to our football club. I just think he lifts the fans, he'll lift the players around him, he'll attract more players. And I just think now, if you look at the transfer window we've had, yes, it's been slow. But when you look at what business we've done up to now, it hasn't been too bad, and I do expect it to get even better.
Yeah, I think the other thing that we need to mention, and you've just alluded to it, the one thing that's made this whole deal stand out as Jack Grealish being a player that's still, he's not going to rest on his laurels, he's not finished his career, he's not, you sort of alluded to the fact he may have lost that love of game, that sort of, Jack Grealish has done this early. He could have waited to the end of the window and gone anywhere, probably. He's had multiple offers, but he's wanted to stay in the Premier League. And he's done this in a good surroundings for his family. They don't have to move. He can keep his lovely £7 million house in Cheshire. But fundamentally, he's done it because he wants to play football. And that, to me, bless me. Bless me again. Screams to me as a player, don't do it. Don't do it. It screams to me as a player that wants to be back to his best. And the fact he wants to get back to his best at Everton Football Club only fills me with confidence.
Well, the thing is, mate, from all accounts, he wants to get back into the England squad. And I think there's a get-together at the end of the month. And there's some rumours and reports going around that he actually wants to make the next England squad. So obviously, if he's pulling up trees at Everton and he's doing what we all hope Jack Grealish does at Everton, and he can get back into that England squad, there's a World Cup on the horizon next year. Jack Grealish wants to be part of that England team, then he's going to have to play well for us. The ball's in his court. Yes, it's anything between 12 and 15 million pounds. It's going to cost Everton. But if Jack Grealish wants something out of this and to get back into the England squad, then that can only be good for us as well.
Realistically, in terms of the cost of this deal, if Jack Grealish propels you up the league 4 or 5 places, and that still makes us just a top 10 team. That doesn't mean we challenge to Europe. And his shirt sales, I don't know how much we generate from shirt sales. I don't know the deal that we have with Fanatics, etc. But either way, the loan deal almost just disappears. What's going to be interesting is when he has a fantastic season this season. Because look, by all accounts, I'm being really positive about this. I think he is going to have a great season. I'm really excited. It's what we do next season. And, the rumours of this £50 million, there's no way I think Everton spend £50 million on a 31-year-old. But I could possibly see him spending like 30.
But the thing is, mate, it's £30 million for a 31-year-old. If he's done what we're all hoping he does, we know a Jack Grealish at 31 years of age, touch wood, barring injuries, he looks after himself, and he's had a great, he didn't go to the Club World Cup because he wanted to get himself fit for the season. Just been listening to Sky there, whether you believe Sky or not, and they were saying Pep Guardiola basically said, we're not going to include you in the World Club Cup squad. Stay at home, get yourself fit, because you probably will move on in the transfer window. And listen, it's exactly what he's done, and don't be surprised to see him start on Monday, because I think there's enough training sessions from now till then for him to stamp his authority on the squad. And we all know what he's capable of. It's just whether he is ready to hit the ground running. And if he is, it can only be a positive for him, and it can only be a positive for us. Definitely it won't be 50 million, as you say. If he can propel us up that league and get in the top 10, 10th, 12th, whatever, and then the season after push us for Europe, £30 million for a player like Jack Grealish is nothing in this day and age, is it, when it comes to transfers? So let's just see what he does the first 12 months. And as I say, I keep saying it, if he can pull up trees for us and get himself back into the England squad, we talk about it at the end of the season. I don't think you see Jack Grealish playing for Man City again. I think that's it now. I think Man City's career is over. So it's up to him now if he can do enough now to get a longer deal at Everton. And obviously, if he does do that, then we've got the Jack Grealish that we wanted to see, haven't we?
Yeah, there we go. Just feels surreal, doesn't it? Like, it feels weird that we are.
Mate, he's £100 million player, and whether he was £100 million player when he left Villa to go to City or not doesn't matter. That's the value we went to City. And you look at what we've had to put up with for the last couple of years, watching the likes of Decore, Dominic Calvert-Lewin when he could be asked, Jack Harrison, Jesper Lindstrom. When you look at players like that, we've just signed a player who's actually had a transfer fee for £100 million, mate.
It's mad. And it feels like it feels like the James Rodriguez move, doesn't it?
It feels like the right move, mate, and it feels right for all parties. He's saying the right things. We know what Jack's capable of. It just feels, something just feels right.
Yeah.
This just feels like it's going to be a marriage. It's going to be a marriage. And listen, as Everton fans, we all know how we take to skillful players, how we've taken to some certain players who've played for our football club, and they come back, even to the ground to watch. I mean, you see videos of Oumar Niasse, and listen, I'm not saying he was skillful, and I'm not saying he's a legend, but it's just the things that Oumar Niasse does that, Everton fans appreciate Oumar Niasse, believe it or not. And I just think you can get that from Jack Grealish. We love our skillful players. Oumar Niasse is not one of them. But we love players who take to our football club, because if they take to our football club 9 times out of 10, we've taken to them. And this just feels like it could be another one.
Yeah. My understanding is that he's a player that he's the agency that looks after him is a company called CAA Stella, and they have various different players, big players, and there's a few in here that I thought I'd mention to you. Liam Delap, Ivan Toney, Wilfred Gnonto, James Justin, Nathan Teller,
Batteru there,
Gustavo Hamer. There's plenty of players here that Everton have been linked with. That is
who improve us.
So it wouldn't surprise me if you see some more from this particular agency. That in terms of Everton players, Jordan Pickford and Yusuf Chamiti are also looked after by his agency as well. But
I read something last night, I don't know how true it is, that Jack Grealish and Jordan Pickford are very, very close friends, and Jack's girlfriend and Jordan's wife are best mates.
no idea. But again, it wouldn't surprise me because there's the England connection, the fact they both live in Chester. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
I didn't know Jordan lived in Chester, to be fair.
I'm sure he lives in Chester. I'm sure it was. But anyway, either way, there's lots of decent players there that have been semi-linked with Everton. I mean, right at the start of the window, we were linked with Ivan Toney on a loan deal. I'm not saying these things happen. It's just, there's obviously the chance that Jack Grealish can have a word or speak to his former friends who are obviously good players. Because let's be fair, your friends tend to stay in big circles like you, if you get what I mean. Your in-group tends to be the same sort of people as you are. Like, for example, with you, you're rich. So I try to stay in your in-group.
Yeah.
I try to climb in and be there with you. Yeah.
I'll never catch you up.
You will, mate. So I just hope that Jack Grealish can bring some of his fantastic friends along with him. And we'll see, maybe a Douglas Luiz in a number 6 position. That would be beautiful.
We will see. He did play with him in Aston Villa, as we mentioned last night. Get in Douglas's ear, Jack, and see if you can get him down to Bramley more.
So come on. Get down to Hill Dickinson Stadium. Ooh.
No, Bramley more sound, but I'm sticking to it.
I was thinking of songs for Jack, and so far we've got a diamond called Jack Grealish. He comes from Birmingham, and then I didn't know what else to end it with.
Even that shit, what you've thought of.
Well, you think of something on the spot now for everyone. See, this is where Frankie's good, because Frankie comes up with songs.
We've got a diamond called Jack Grealish. He'll skin you and rip you a new asshole. And when he gets past you, he'll take on the defense and he will stick the ball in the goal. There you go.
Oh, it's tremendous, isn't it? Now I can safely say that Ryan Rooney has got fuck all to worry about. Right. We will leave it there. Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. It is a good day. I'm going to be playing football this evening with a big smile on my face in 30-degree heat. So if I'm not here tomorrow, I have melted away. Brilliant. Right, guys, see you soon. Up the toffees. Peace and love and
Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish. Good old mate. I can't wait to spend all my time in Chinatown with it. Salt and pepper chicken, salt and pepper chips, boiled fried rice.
You don't sound anything like him.
Which is mad, and bearing in mind, he literally lived 2 minutes away.
I reckon you're a Plazzy Brummy. Right, bye, folks.
Brilliant. So I'm a wall and not a real Brummer. Fantastic. I'm fucking from nowhere. Right. See you soon. Up the toffees. Peace.